As many people would have seen yesterday, there was a video uploaded from April the 6th, and it was in a pub in Drimna. Drimna is in sort of inner city Dublin. It's kind of more south Dublin, but it's still inner city. And basically, it's footage of Conor McGregor walking into this pub, buying a round for everybody is what it looks like, and offering this old guy a whiskey. Now, the old guy refuses it. That's his right. He doesn't take it if he doesn't want to. McGregor obviously took offence to that. Pours the whiskey, offers it to him again. He doesn't take it. McGregor then proceeds to pour himself a whiskey and sucker punch this old guy when he wasn't even expecting it. And people say, if you get caught by McGregor's left hand, you go down. This guy took it pretty well, to be fair. He took that left hand. He didn't seem to show any bad effects to it. He was still sitting in that seat, no problem to him. But it's a really scummy act. And I'm delighted to say most people agree with me. And this is not me trying to hate on McGregor saying, you see, I want people to call him a scumbag. No. I criticise people when it's justified. And this is definitely justified. And if you are not criticising McGregor, and if you're saying, he was in the right, you're a fucking idiot. Simple as. Because there's no reason to behave like that. McGregor is probably the biggest sporting star we have in Ireland now at the minute. And to be doing that kind of things, to be doing stuff like, going and making blatantly racist remarks towards people, to be, committing, almost assault acts, to be criticising people's religions, to be doing all these kind of things, destroying buses, smashing windows, stuff like that, it doesn't give him a good name. And you see people, and I've seen it so many times, where people have just jumped to his defence. But he's this. But he's that. But he's amazing. We love McGregor. It's like, can this guy not do anything wrong? And at the end of the day, you criticise them when they're justified criticism. It's like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder made a lot of silly acts, said a lot of silly things, done a lot of things that you can criticise him for. But then he does things like knock out Dominic Breazeale in a round and look fantastic doing it. Well, you got to praise him for that. Simple as. It goes both ways. I don't want this channel. I don't want someone to come to this channel and say, you're biased towards this guy, you're biased towards that guy. No, I'm not biased towards anybody. I call it like I see it, and if I see it a certain way, I let you know that's how I see it. We don't all have to agree, but that's just the way it is. Now, how does this relate to boxing? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Basically, Dubliner Luke Keeler. Luke Keeler, for those who don't know, he's a middleweight. I call him a contender now. He's coming off the back of a good win on the Michael Conor undercard. He beat Luis Aries, the guy who fought Danny Jacobs after Danny Jacobs fought Golovkin. It was a good win. He had Aries down a couple of times, hurt him worse than Jacobs did. And Luke Keeler's not a noted puncher. So Luke Keeler, he's a contender now. I would officially say he's a contender. Luke Keeler has come out, and I'm reading this article off irishboxing.com. irishboxing.com is not a big website. They do some good work, to be fair. But it's not a boxing scene or something like that. You'd probably get more off Twitter than you would off Irish Boxing. But occasionally they release something that kind of sparks my interest, and this is it here. And it says, Luke Keeler has offered his services to humanity and wants to take on Conor McGregor following the MMA star's latest controversy. Okay? It's been reported that the incident came in Dublin 12. They're kind of talking here about... They're basically talking about, the incident that happened. And Luke Keeler's from Ballyfermot, and he actually alleges, I should say, that McGregor was involved in an altercation with one of Keeler's friends and assaulted Luke Keeler's friend a few years ago, which is interesting. Okay, Keeler would then state that he's willing to fight McGregor should the Crumlin man look to re-enter the pro division for a second time following his lucrative knockout defeat to Floyd Mayweather back in 2016. It's actually 2017, they're reporting on the wrong day here. But they said, cool hand Luke, a qualified engineer, said, this is what Luke Keeler had to say, sad to see McGregor stoop so low. Did the same to a friend of mine a couple of years ago and still walking around acting like the gangster. I'd be happy to put him in his place if he had the balls to step into the ring again. So that's what Luke Keeler had to say. Now, Luke Keeler, he is, for those who don't know, he is 17-2-1. Okay, his biggest win to this date is probably Luis Aries. The two losses, well, they're both to the same guy. They're both to a guy called Tom Doran. Tom Doran fought Eubank Jr. a few years ago, you remember. One was in Prize Fighter, lost that on points. The second one was on a Matchroom show. He was taken out in 2 rounds, pretty spectacularly. He was taken out. But Luke Keeler is trained by Pete Taylor, Katie Taylor's dad. And, he's impressive. He's ranked number 5 at middleweight. And Luke Keeler is very good. He's very good. He's very technically good. Defensively, he's not great. If you ever watch Luke Keeler, you'll know defensively he has a lot of holes there. He's not exactly the slickest fighter in the world, but he is good from a technical point of view, and he can punch a bit. I know he's not known as a puncher, but he can punch a bit. So it'd be interesting to see. I don't think McGregor will ever step back into a boxing ring, and if he does, it will be against a Canelo. It will be against a big name. It wouldn't be against Luke Keeler. Luke Keeler probably beat McGregor in a boxing ring, but seriously, that fight ain't never going to happen. But this is more kind of so on what McGregor's doing. It's a real scummy act. And, you know, as I said, I'm glad to see most people are taking the stance that it was a scummy act, because it was. And it's nice to see that people are actually, you know, kind of starting to, you know, kind of say, no, we're not going to give you a pass anymore on the kind of stupid shit you do. Because it's getting to the stage now where it's becoming quite silly what he's doing. Like, he walked into a place, offers to buy someone a drink, and someone refuses it, and he punches the guy. The guy did nothing to offend him. The guy didn't do anything. He was just sitting there. So, you know, not good from McGregor. And as Luke Keeler said, you know, McGregor done the same to one of his friends a few years ago. Not good behaviour. Not good at all. But, you know, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I will talk to you after.